Everyone knows Annabelle, but they know the movie version, the polished porcelain, the jump scares. My Annabelle. She looked like a child's toy, soft, innocent, and that's what made her so much worse. We didn't know we were bringing the devil home. My name is Donna. In 1970, I was a nursing student, sharing a small apartment with my roommate, Angie. Life was simple, filled with studies, laughter, and the usual stresses of young adulthood. My mom bought me a Raggedy Ann doll as a birthday gift. It was a sweet gesture, a classic toy. I put her on my bed, a little nostalgic touch in our otherwise modern apartment. We called her Annabelle. She looked so harmless, so innocent. The first few days, nothing. Then, subtle things started to happen. We'd leave for class, Annabelle propped up on my bed. We'd come home, and she'd be in Angie's room, or sometimes even on the sofa in the living room. We laughed it off. Must be one of us moving her without realizing, we'd say. We tried to rationalize it, to find any logical explanation for the impossible, but Annabelle wasn't done playing hide-and-seek. She started leaving notes. Bits of parchment, aged and yellowish, would appear around the apartment. They were always written in crayon, in childish script. Help us. Play with me. Sometimes just Donna. Always short, always unsettling. We checked the paper, the crayons. They weren't ours. We started to feel a prickle of fear. This wasn't just a doll anymore. The movements became more deliberate, more frequent. We'd leave Annabelle in one room, lock the door, and find her in another, the door still locked from the inside. One morning, I woke up, and Annabelle was sitting on the rocking chair by my bed, just staring. Her button eyes seemed to bore into me. That's when the light-hearted jokes stopped. We knew something was wrong. Something was seriously wrong with that doll. One particularly chilling incident solidified our fear. Angie and I came home to find Annabelle in my room, not just on the bed, but kneeling by the headboard. Her head was bowed. What made it terrifying was that Raggedy Ann dolls cannot kneel. Their fabric bodies are not designed to hold such a pose. It was an unnatural, grotesque sight. We were scared, confused, and desperate for answers. We reached out to a medium, hoping for some spiritual guidance. The medium came to our apartment and performed a seance. She told us that the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins. This girl, she claimed, had lived in our building years ago and had died tragically at the age of 7. She felt lonely, lost, and just wanted to be loved and cared for. She simply wanted to stay with us. Angie and I, being young and empathetic nursing students, felt a wave of sympathy for this supposed lost child. We agreed to let Annabelle stay, to let the spirit inhabit the doll. We thought we were doing a good deed, offering comfort to a lonely soul. That was our second and most profound mistake. We gave it permission. Once we gave it permission, the true terror began. The subtle movements turned into violent acts. Our friend, Lou, who often visited, hated the doll. He sensed something evil about it and constantly urged us to get rid of it. He had good reason to. One evening, Lou was alone in the living room. He heard strange noises coming from my room, which was locked. As the noises intensified, Lou became afraid. He crept to the door and peered inside. He saw Annabelle sitting on the floor. As he watched, the doll floated into the air and then violently dropped back down. Lou was horrified. Another time, Lou was sleeping on the couch when he awoke with a start. He couldn't move. He looked down and saw Annabelle standing over him, climbing onto his chest. He felt a choking sensation, and then, slowly, a sharp, excruciating pain. He looked at his chest and saw red, angry scratch marks appearing on his skin. He struggled, fought against the invisible force holding him down until he passed out. When he awoke, the doll was gone, but the scratches remained. They were deep, raw, and bleeding. Angie and I started experiencing the same thing. Unexplained scratches would appear on our bodies, sometimes superficial, sometimes deep. We'd wake up with bruises. Objects would fly across the room. We heard growls and whispers when no one else was around. The atmosphere in the apartment became heavy, oppressive, filled with a palpable sense of dread. We realized that the lonely spirit of a little girl was a lie. This wasn't a child. This was something demonic, something truly evil. That's when we knew we needed professional help. We contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren, the renowned demonologists. They came to our apartment, and the moment Lorraine walked in, her face became grim. She immediately sensed a profound evil. Ed, a seasoned demonologist, examined the doll and the apartment. He confirmed our worst fears. There was no child spirit. It was an inhuman demonic entity, possessing the doll, manipulating it, and attempting to possess one of us. It was playing with us, trying to wear us down, to get inside. The Warrens explained that demonic entities often lie, pretending to be harmless spirits to gain trust and permission. Once they have that, they escalate their torment. They also warned us that getting rid of the doll wouldn't solve the problem, as the entity was attached to the location and to us, not just the doll itself. Ed Warren performed an exorcism of our apartment, clearing the evil from our home. As he left, he carried Annabelle carefully, wrapped in a sack. He made sure not to let the doll touch him directly, knowing the entity's power. He took her back to his occult museum, where she was placed in a specially constructed glass case, blessed and secured. And that, we thought, was the end of it. You might think a doll is just a toy, an inanimate object. But sometimes, darkness finds a vessel, a seemingly innocent facade to hide behind. Be careful what you bring into your home, what you give permission to. Because once you open the door, even to something that seems harmless, you might find that you've invited in a nightmare that never truly leaves.